Hello guys, welcome to a video about Microsoft's Gamescom conference. It's kind of surprising to me that I'm making this video. I didn't really have any interest in the conference. I don't have an Xbox One and I don't plan on getting one for a very long time, but I ended up watching it last night and holy shit. One game in particular blew me away, but the conference in general was pretty decent, so I thought I'd do a video talking about it, see what you guys think. Yeah, one game that wasn't at Gamescom though was the reboot of the game that's playing in the background. This is Phantom Dust. This was an NTSC exclusive original Xbox game, absolute belter of a game. A card-based kind of battler RPG style, cyberpunk stroke, magic stroke. Oh, I'm going to do a gameplay video of this game soon if you haven't seen it before. It's brilliant. There was a reboot in the works of Phantom Dust. A development studio called Darkside Games were making it, and that was shown at E3 last year. And that's since been shut down. Development on the Phantom Dust reboot has been shut down, although Microsoft have said that they're still going to make that game. They're just going to go with a different development studio. I don't know exactly what's happening there. We haven't heard anything about what's happening with the Phantom Dust reboot, so that's a shame. But there was some cool stuff at this conference. So they opened talking about Windows 10. Woohoo! Apparently it's going to make everything loads better and faster and easier and stuff, and Windows 10 is really just the latest update in spyware for Microsoft and the powers that be. Conspiracy theories at the ready. But yeah, Windows 10, nice, I guess. Okay. Rare Replay. Okay, Rare Replay has got to be the best value compilation of games ever put out on one disc. This is, if you don't know already, Rare Replay is one disc with a shit ton of Rare's classic games on there. You know, your Banjo, your Kazooies, your Perfect Darks, Cameo, God, how many cool games, I can't even list them all. Rare's games are coming on one disc to Xbox One. That's pretty sweet. I think they're all being remastered as well. They bloody well should be, shouldn't they, for that. So Phil Spencer came out and championing first-party developers. So that's good to hear that they are investing in first-party developers, that they're all about creating those games. That's good to see. The first game that they really showed was Quantum Break. We've seen a lot of Quantum Break before, and yeah, this does look pretty damn impressive. Some really interesting time and space manipulation during the combat and that. But something I hadn't heard about Quantum Break before is this idea that they're actually merging a game and a live-action TV show, essentially, together. Now, this Quantum Break is seeming more and more like a TV show that I used to watch called Fringe. I didn't hear about that TV show until quite recently, so me and my partner, we kind of binge watched the first few series, and Fringe is really cool. If you've not heard about it before, it's available on Netflix in this country. It's kind of X-Filesy, you know, really kind of obscure science fiction kind of storylines, really over the top, you know, crazy kind of science fiction. Yeah, and it goes heavily into kind of extra dimensions is the main theme in Fringe. This idea of extra dimensions and what can go on and the different permutations of repercussions of your actions, and it was a crazy TV show. I really enjoyed Fringe. And Quantum Break seems quite similar to that. There seems some similar themes there with the different dimensions, the multiverse kind of idea. And it's even got one of the same actors from the Fringe series. I can't remember his name. The big tall bald black dude. It was really cool in Fringe. He is in Quantum Break, the TV series, which again is mixed in with the game. So yeah, but it looks really cool. I really do like the look of Quantum Break. This idea of manipulating time to help with your, you know, with the gameplay elements. Looks pretty sweet. Gorgeous graphics, of course. Yeah, it looks like Max Payne on acid. That is what I have in my notes. That is what I've just said. Max Payne on acid. That is Quantum Break. Looks pretty sweet. Yes, what else have we got? Right, so then Dave Jones came on to talk about Crackdown 3. Looked pretty cool. They just talked a lot about the multiplayer side of it. One thing that they did try to sell on here was this idea of 100% destructible environments. Now, the feed that I watched, there was some breaks in the feed. I didn't catch everything that was said, but I hope that 100% destructible environments isn't going to interfere too much with, you know, the actual gameplay, the actual, you know, the plots that you get involved with, and stuff like that. And I hope those buildings aren't too easily destroyed. But it did look pretty damn impressive. It really looked nice, these huge buildings being destroyed and crumbling down. Let's just hope they don't fall down too easily. I think that would spoil it. Yeah, it's not multiplayer only, is it? I didn't quite catch that. Some people are saying that this could be another one of those games ruined in the future when server support goes down. I don't know if that's multiplayer only. Crackdown 3, like I said, I might have missed some points on it, but anyway, it did look pretty cool. Crackdown 3, yeah, so that's all I had to say about that, really. Oh yeah, I mean, it's kind of open world, and in the sense that, as well, in the sense that you can do missions in any order you like. The overall objective is to bring down this kind of network of crime and corruption, and you can do the different, you know, missions in any kind of order you choose. So there's a nice kind of freedom to the gameplay structure there. It looks pretty sweet. Right, then, oh my god, right, Hideki Kamiya, this guy came on. The game director for Platinum Games came on to talk about Scalebound. Yeah, Scalebound. This is the game that has prompted me to make this video. Holy shit! This game looks amazing. I have the link for the conference down in the low bar. If you haven't watched it already, you probably should go watch it first. I should have said that at the top of the video. Go watch the conference, come back here and let's have a chat about it all. But Jesus Christ, I'll put in actually a direct link for the Scalebound gameplay footage as well, so you can go watch that on its own down in the low bar. Yeah, right. How can you describe Scalebound? It's an action RPG where you basically are partnered with a dragon. This is basically Panzer Dragoon crossed with Army of Two, crossed with Halo, crossed with Gears of War. But holy shit, it looks amazing. Graphically it looks beautiful. We're starting to really see now games that, yeah, are only going to be working on the new consoles. You know, the first year or so, maybe even longer, of the new console's lifespan, we kept seeing these kind of slightly better looking versions of games that are coming out on both generations. That's standard, that's been happening for quite a while. But yeah, I've been massively impressed with the visuals on some of the early current generation, I guess now I was going to call it next gen games. But this is one of the ones that is just going to make you think, holy fuck, I need to upgrade now. That's it. Yeah, 360 is obsolete now. I need this for Scalebound. It's Panzer Dragoon crossed with Army of Two. You know, you're going around battling, and your partner is a fucking dragon, and he's huge, and it looked really dynamic, and the range of kind of attacks and action that can occur looked pretty good, pretty varied. You know, the guy that you control also kind of morphs into sort of this semi-dragon character. He has some type of dragon DNA within him, I guess, and he can power up and do all these other moves and such. When I first saw the human character come on screen on this gameplay footage, I was a little bit worried, because he's, you know, you have this kind of mythical setting, and then into it comes this kind of cool dude from the modern era, you know, with his cool kid speak, and you know, it's kind of tongue-in-cheek, this character. He's kind of like, how do you describe it? Like a Crackdown character, but in a kind of Skyrim world. I didn't think that really worked at first, but let's see how they pull it off. But when the actual gameplay started, I forgot all about that. Didn't give two fucks about the character of this guy, because the actual action is mental. It's, like I said, it's Army of Two, but paired with a dragon. Beautiful. That looks amazing. It's open world, apparently. What else have I got here that I wrote down about it? Yeah, you know, you fight kind of humanoid characters to begin with in this demo, and then a huge monster comes on, and you start battling with this monster, you and the dragon, versus this huge kraken thing. It was just really impressive. That's the first game on the next generation that's made me go, this was my face throughout pretty much the entirety of the gameplay footage of Scalebound. I'm not kidding you. Literally my mouth was open. So yeah, let's hope that fulfills the potential of what that gameplay footage showed. because holy shit, that looked good. Now, what else have I got here? They talked about DVR stuff. I wasn't really interested in that, the whole recording of things and the various different things you can do on Xbox One that are not essentially game related, gaming related. That didn't really interest me. They talked about the chat pads. Well, that's pretty standard fare. We had that on 360 already. Just put it out there. I mean, yeah, alright, they had to announce it, I guess. So now we've got a chat pad for the Xbox One. Brilliant. Then backwards compatibility. That's actually really good. That's actually a very, very positive thing, and it's one thing that we all wanted from the start on this new generation. You know, you don't want your collection of games that you've amassed over the last several years to become obsolete. You know, consoles don't have that great a lifespan anymore. It's not like your Mega Drives that are still firing up after 30 years. You know, your 360s, they're not going to last as long as your Mega Drives. Obviously more moving parts, lasers, all the rest of it. We understand why modern technology is not going to last as long as the old, you know, stuff. But that's, yeah, you don't want your collection of games to become obsolete when your consoles stop working and it gets harder and harder to actually find a working 360. So backwards compatibility saves your game collection well into the future, hopefully. And they're working on that, and it's really good that they're doing that. And they may have been prompted to do that by the fact that Xbox just isn't selling as well as PS4. So at least they've got something now that they can hold up and say, "Ah, you want an Xbox One, don't you really? Come on, come on, come on, come on! You've already got shitloads of games that work on it." Yeah. It needed to happen. It should have happened from the start. They're doing it now. I'm happy about it. That's good. There's 100 games, over 100 games that are already going to be backwards compatible, and they're adding more all the time. Let's hope that they complete that project, unlike on the 360 where you ended up only getting about half the games of the original Xbox working on 360. Let's hope that they complete it and all the 360 games can work on the Xbox One. But I'm really happy about that, and eventually in the kind of far future when I do get an Xbox One, that will definitely please me, that I won't have to have the two consoles set up next to each other just to be able to play games from both generations. It's an important thing. Don't abandon your loyal fans that have spent loads of money on the games of your previous system. Don't abandon them. Give them a chance to carry on using those games. So anyway, they talked about Bloodstained, of course, another Kickstarter game. Of course, this is essentially the new Castlevania. I don't think we didn't see any of it, but we just talked about Bloodstained. That's good. They also talked about the fact that they're doing there's lots of indie games coming to Xbox One. They're supporting indie developers, and that's really good because we've seen some of the most innovative, fun game ideas come from the indie scene. You know, they're not restricted by these huge budgets that need to claw back as much as possible, and therefore, you know, the AAA titles usually quite generic. You know, you got your first-person shooters. Your easy money games, you know, they don't take too many risks, but in the indie scene you see a lot more invention in game styles, and that's really good to see. So if Microsoft can get behind them and support indie developers, that's really cool, so happy about that. We heard a lot of a certain phrase in this conference. We heard a lot of first to Xbox, or first to console on Xbox, that was it, yeah. First to console on Xbox. So it's this thing about having initial console exclusivity, but the games eventually are going to come to the other consoles. Okay, happy for you. Doesn't make any difference to me. I guess, you know, first to console, nice as a lot of those games. Microsoft do seem to be hoovering up a good number of these first to console exclusives, so giving them a little bit of a jump on the games before they go to PS4 essentially. I might help them, you know, I'm not really too bothered about that. Then there was another game, one of these indie games, I didn't quite catch the name again, I had a break in the feed, but there was another game that kind of looked like Skyrim crossed with Far Cry, is the best I can describe it. That looks pretty damn sweet actually, another kind of dragon, you know, mythical world thing. This is a first person game though, as opposed to Scalebound, which was third person. But again, that looked brilliant. Oh, Scalebound. Seriously, if you haven't seen it already, go and watch the gameplay footage of Scalebound. Blew my head off. You know, there's this bit of a story. Essentially, the amazing gameplay footage isn't till a little way into the video, but go watch it. Right, then we had another Kickstarter game that they talked about. This was a pixelated point-and-click game called Thimbleweed Park. Looks pretty sweet. I do like the look of that. Thimbleweed Park, in the vein of Monkey Island, so that looks fun. Yeah, again, indie dev scene is where you're going to find some pretty sweet stuff. So keep an eye on Thimbleweed Park. Then we had a game called We Happy Few. This is a very weird, very spooky game. Think BioShock. Think, I guess, you know, this. It looked like a game designed for the Joker, as if this should be a game for the Joker. But yeah, We Happy Few, very spooky, very weird looking game. Has a storyline that's similar to the film Equilibrium. If you know of Equilibrium, this is a story where people had to take a pill. Well, in this game, you have to take a pill to stay happy. And it's illegal not to be happy. You have to be happy all the time. And is it through the water? Yeah, basically everyone's got to be happy all the time. They've got to take this drug to make them happy. Not allowed to have any emotions and all this kind of thing. It looks pretty unique. Some of the gameplay features on there, pretty inventive on some of the things that happen in that game. Yeah, it looks nice. I like the look of We Happy Few. And then, okay, then they just spoke about there's lots of cross Xbox PC compatibility. So they said that you're going to be able to stream your Xbox games to your PC. We don't know yet, but is this going to work the other way? Are you going to be able to steam PC stuff to your Xbox? You know, they're both using Windows 10. You know, so we've got that export from the Xbox One stuff to PC. Doesn't seem to be too much reason why you shouldn't be able to grab stuff from traditional PC platforms and play it on the Xbox. If that's true, if that does end up happening, that could mean you can play Steam games through your Xbox One, and that would be a huge coup for the Xbox One. For me personally, of course, that means that eventually Shenmue 3 would actually, essentially, be coming to the Xbox One. So how would Sony feel about that? They've put a lot of money into the marketing of Shenmue 3, essentially to tie up console exclusivity for that game. But if they ended up actually being able to play Shenmue 3 via Steam through the Xbox One, don't think Sony would be too happy about that, but a lot of Xbox One fans might be happy about that. We'll see, we don't know about that yet, but certainly a lot of compatibility going from the Xbox One to PC. Let's see if it goes the other way as well. That would be pretty exciting. Then they talked about DirectX, just obviously, you know, an engine. It looks pretty nice and do some really nice looking stuff on DirectX. Yeah, we are getting into the point now where we're leaving the other generation behind. As I said, the first year and a half maybe, a lot of cross-generation games that didn't look too amazing, out of this world on the new platforms, but now we're getting to the point where, yeah, we're leaving the 8th generation, we're leaving them in the dust now. I say I'm not jumping on this generation just yet. Right, then Mojang came on and talks about Minecraft. That game keeps having more and more stuff added to it. I first played Minecraft a few years ago. In fact, I did a series of videos on this channel, and I'll link the playlist down below if you want to go have a look. And I played that, I was blown away by Minecraft. It consumed me for several months. But I was playing on a laptop, which is a lot quicker, and the user interface, I feel, is a lot smoother and a lot quicker to play than on a gamepad. On an Xbox controller, I felt it was really slow, and actually my hands would ache after playing Minecraft for too long on an Xbox controller. So, I don't know, maybe you'll be able to get a mouse to play it on through Xbox One, who knows. But yeah, there's lots of stuff being added to Minecraft, and I haven't played it for a long time. I'm sure I will go back to it one day, and when I do, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to find a hell of a lot of features added to it that I haven't seen before, so that's pretty cool. I'm happy about that. Yeah, I would just love to see some better graphics on the surely now the Xbox One would be able to do the Unbelievable Shaders mod. This was essentially a lighting mod that you could get from Minecraft that just made it look beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So there's no reason surely why the Xbox One can't do a much a souped up version of Minecraft with better graphics, even with HD skin packs, texture packs. I want to see that, but yeah, I'll go back to it eventually. More likely to if you'll be able to play it with some type of trackpad or mouse. On a controller, not a fan. Then From Software came out to talk about Dark Souls 3. That looks beautiful. That looks gorgeous. Yeah. Dark Souls is still a series I've not delved too far into. I really want to get into it. I really want to master it enough to be able to enjoy it. It's famous for being pretty hard. But Dark Souls 3 looked gorgeous. Yeah. Then, then Homefront: The Revolution. I really dig the story on this. This was a dystopian future, you know, a police state gone crazy, and the story was of the people rising up against this authoritarian government. Okay, so I really love that story. It echoes things that are kind of happening. They kind of are. This game takes it to the nth degree, and it's about a revolution. It looks like a fantastic storyline. So I really enjoyed the look at that. Let's see how that gets on. Then they talked about FIFA 16. I really love FIFA games, but there's not a lot you can really say about FIFA. It's the same game every year. They didn't say much about it. There wasn't anything to get excited about. Didn't even see much of the game, I don't think. Yeah, I might have fallen asleep during it. Anyway, then came Halo 5 Guardians. Didn't hear too much about this game. They talked a little bit about the multiplayer. They just showed a gameplay footage of the multiplayer, and it was a small map. It was a 4-on-4 match, and I didn't like the cheesy commentary that we got from you know, over the gameplay. Didn't need that really, but I guess they had to explain the various gameplay features. Fair enough, whatever. It looked good. It looked fun. It did look really high octane, fast-paced action, lots of fun. But there's one thing I really didn't like about the Halo 5 Guardians gameplay footage, and this is this idea of seeing the outline of players as they go behind scenery. I didn't like that at all. That could be a game breaker for me. I don't really see why they've gone with that. I don't think is this a permanent feature? Is this through all game modes? I don't know if this is an upgrade thing or I didn't like it. It's like every time an enemy went behind scenery and was obscured behind scenery, you'd still see an outline of the player, so you kind of knew where they were, even though they were, you know, behind something. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't think you need that. I think that could spoil it a little. I don't know, but it looked really, like I said, very, very hectic action. It looked fun. Just not sure about that little feature there. Yeah. So then they talked about you know, the online factor of this. There's tournaments, that kind of thing. They said that they're going to be putting their biggest ever investment into Xbox esports. Whereas this is tournaments and such. You know, kind of that kind of thing, online competitive play. Halo is actually the only game that I've ever got into online competitive play in a big way. I felt like I was good enough that I, you know, did all right on it. So that's why I enjoyed it. You know, I've tried Destiny Online. I get slaughtered in the competitive play. Halo I really did enjoy. So that is an online multiplayer game that I actually will probably get into eventually, if the servers are still up by the time I get Xbox One. No, I'm joking. But it'll be a couple or a few years before I do jump on that system. But it's got to happen eventually. Come on, it's got to happen eventually. Just you know. Right, then we saw Just Cause 3. This looks pretty damn sweet. More blowing up shit with nice graphics, basically. It looked cool. It's parkour on acid. I'll use that phrase again, but it is. It's a parkour game to the nth degree. Just blown up to ridiculous levels. Go anywhere, jump on anything. You know, it just looks good. Tomb Raider, Rise of the Tomb Raider. That looked nice. More of the same, I guess. Looked good, looked nice. Forza, don't care, looked nice. I'm sure it's going to be wicked for racing fans. Don't care about Forza. Halo Wars, don't care about Halo Wars. And that is it. That's the Gamescom conference for Microsoft. But yeah, my face went scalebound. Go watch the Scalebound gameplay and tell me what you think of the Gamescom conference. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.